On the news tonight, blood of innocent women and children haunting you. That is why you apologize. CSO accuses Malemi of misleading Buhari over OPL 245 scandal. Disregard anyone saying I hate Northerners. Peter Obi capped Buhari's aid statements. NPC denies reports its server was hacked before census postponements. And on sport, Igalo celebrates as Al Hilal zoom into Saudi Cup final. For more updates on YouTube, our handle is BGI TV Current. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bagide Imo with Alawiye Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. For advert placement of your goods and services, coverage of events and functions, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen. I am Morire Rabila Lawal. The news in detail. The Chieftain of the All Progressive Congress, APC, and former Commissioner for Information, Culture and Tourism in Niger State, Jonathan Vatsa, has lashed out at President Muhammadu Buhari. This comes after Buhari asked Nigerians for forgiveness. Vatsa said it's easy for the president to ask forgiveness because he doesn't understand the plight his administration has caused to so many Nigerians. Vatsa's reaction comes after the president, whole receiving guest who paid him Salah homage at the villa on Friday, asked Nigerians for forgiveness over his administration's awful policies in the last 8 years, saying, "Those that think that I've hurt them so much, please pardon me." The APC chieftain told pressmen in Minna, the Niger State capital, that apart from the president's negative policies that have sent millions of Nigerians to unemployment market, early graves, and permanent poverty, the 8 years of Buhari's administration were the worst in the country's history, information reveals. Vatse asserted that for the president to publicly come out to ask for forgiveness, it means the blood of innocent Nigerians, including women and children, killed and spilled across the country by killer herdsmen, were haunting him. He advanced that, said there was no way millions of traumatized Nigerians could forgive Buhari. Going on to the next story. A civil society organization, the Human and Environmental Development Agenda, has accused Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, of misleading President Muhammadu Buhari over claims that the policy litigation and dispute surrounding an oil prospecting license 245 was driving investors away from the country. The commission, in a letter addressed to Buhari on Monday, signed by its chairman, Olariwaju Suraju, said the alleged deceit by Malami has led to a series of financial losses which Nigeria has experienced in the oil facility. The group alleged that the minister was also misleading the country, accusing him of failing in his duty to provide the president with the facts to make informed decisions on the matter and of being disrespectful to both the president and his office. The letter also cited a number of alleged misrepresentations by Malami, including his assertion that the country pursuing a prosecution and the case was a lost endeavor, while giving a clean bill of health to the affected companies. The organization argued their position was contradicted by the AGF's approval of an appeal by the federal government to an Italian Supreme Court in its civil claim against Eni and Shell oil companies in Italy, which pointed out that Nigeria had won its first case in London, resulting in the return of $80 million to the coffers, and with $115 million remaining frozen in Switzerland. HEDA also urged the president to reject Malami's advice to abandon the OPL 245 litigation, arguing that abandoning the suit would send a signal that companies are insulted from prosecution and likely to interrupt significant but corruptly obtained money flows. To the next story. The Labour Party LP presidential candidate in the just concluded 2023 general election, Mr. Peter Obi, has appealed to the Muslim community in Anambra State to disregard anyone accusing him of disliking the Northerners. Meanwhile, information report that Bashir Ahmed, a special assistant to President Muhammadu Buhari, had earlier berated the LP, Standard Bearer accusing him of disliking the North, adding that the region would never support his presidential ambition. Obi made the appeal at the Central Mosque Onitsha, Anambra State on Sunday, where he went to celebrate Eid al-Fitr with the Muslim Ummah residing in the state, while presenting food items and cash gifts of 500,000 naira to the community. Obi explained that his visit was to celebrate the Eid al-Fitr with them as he has always done, promising to continue to support the Muslims in the state and other parts of the country. Reiterating the need for Nigerians to love and appreciate one another, he stated that every Nigerian should be free to live and thrive in any part of the country without intimidation or harassment. And to the next story, the National Population Commission (NPC) has dismissed a report from one of its staff, Sanusi Megida, that the commission server was hacked ahead of the 2023 population census. Megida alleged that the commission server was hacked, citing this development as the reason for the postponement of the local government area level training and the supervisor and enumerators for the 2023 population and housing census. However, NPC spokesperson Isiaka Yahya dismissed Megida's report as false in a statement on Monday, stating that the server is intact and ready to be deployed for the upcoming 2023 population and housing census exercise. Yahya described Megida as an uninformed staff who had limited knowledge about the NPC server or its workability. The statement made by Sanusi Megida is totally false and does not represent the true position of things as regards the commission server and the reason for the postponement of the LGA level training of the functionaries, Yahya said. He stated that Megida acted without directive or authorization from the commission's headquarters in Abuja and is currently facing disciplinary action for the misinformation. Going on to the next story. Nigeria's largest domestic airline, Air Peace, has expressed its willingness to evacuate Nigerians stranded in Sudan free of charge. This is coming against the backdrop of the uprising currently ongoing in the Northeast Africa country. The airline noted that Nigerian students and others stranded in the war-racked nations need our help. It will be recalled that the airlines in 2019 deployed flights to evacuate Nigerians in South Africa during the heat of the xenophobic attack against Africans living in that country, a development that threatened the lives of Nigerians. However, the chairman of the Air Peace, Allen Onyema, stated that Nigerians could be moved to a neighboring country. The airline would fly there and evacuate them, as Sudan's airspace is closed from civil aviation flight. In his word, I am compelled to help because Nigeria cannot afford to lose our citizens in that country. Everything must not be left for the government alone, especially as the situation calls for urgency and immediate action. From that story, we go to Kogi State. The traditional ruler of Agara, Kaba, Bono local government area of Kogi State, Chief David Obadofin, has reportedly died in the custody of his abductors 12 days after he was kidnapped. A family source stated that the monarch died last Thursday as a result of torture from his abductors. Correspondent gathered that the abductors of the monarch had agreed to collect the sum of 2 million naira for his release, and one other lady identified as Temidayo Elewa, when the hoodlums noticed that Pa Obadofin was becoming too weak. The source added that while waiting for the money to be delivered, the hoodlums blindfolded the lady and relocated her to a different place in the bush in a bid to cover up their tracks. Pa Obadofin was said to have died before the money could be delivered to his abductors in the bush. Meanwhile, the locals stated that Elewa, who was abducted along the monarch, had been set free and reunited with her family since Saturday. She was said to have been spotted roaming in the bush by sewing machine operators who helped her out. The hoodlums were said to have freed the lady when they got the wind of the advancing search group of hunters, vigilantes, and some Fulani volunteers. The late monarch, a major cashew farmer, and the lady were abducted by unknown gunmen on Easter Monday from his farm residence in Agara, Kabal, Bono, LGA about 11 p.m., demanding 60 million naira. Madam Tony Onari, a widow who was on the farm as a laborer, was killed during the invasion. To Ogun State. The Ogun State Community Social Orientation and Safety Corps, also known as Soul Safe Corps, has arrested an ex-convict for stealing. The suspect is 21-year-old Timothy Shonyegbe, a organizer by profession, who allegedly stole a motorcycle, also known as Okada, around Abole Teacher in Ipokia local government area. In a statement by SOSAFE spokesperson Moruf Yusuf, Commander Soji Gonzalo noted that the criminal resides in the Ijofin area. The suspect, already placed on surveillance after he served a jail term twice, was seen riding a motorcycle during an odd hour of the night. A team of officers on a routine patrol, led by CSC Abdul Karim Abdul Razak, at the Idiroko divisional officer, stopped the accomplice. Though the rider made a U-turn in an attempt to escape, the suspect was chased, apprehended, and taken to custody. The suspect and the two-term ex-convict who served at Ilaro Correctional Center for fuel and motorcycle theft, Gonzalo noted. During plenary interrogation, he confessed that the motorbike, a Boxer Bajaj with engine number DXW LBA46090, was stolen. SOSAFE also recovered 2 phones from the criminal, who has been handed over to the police divisional headquarters in Ipokia. We'll go to Benue State. Angry youths from Koshenja local government area in Benue State have buried 2 persons alive for allegedly being behind a hunger strike after affected one Henry Nwaka, his wife, and a 2-week-old child. Nwaka, who is said to be the father of Henry, was accused by the youth bewitching people with thunderstorm in the area anytime it rains. It was gathered that on that fateful day, the youth mobilized and attacked Nwaka and his alleged collaborator. They later dug a shallow grave and made the act happen. An eyewitness, an elder in the community, Engineer Baba Agan, said following the development, the matter was reported to the police and the local government area, where the divisional police officer, DPO, mobilized his men to the scene of the event. Information gathered that when the police team arrived, the 2 had already died in the grave and the body exhumed. From Benue State, we go to the foreign story. More than 1,000 European Union citizens have evacuated from conflict-hit Sudan over the weekend, the bloc's foreign policy chief Joseph Borrell has said. Borrell also informed journalists on Monday that 21 diplomats from the EU's mission in Khartoum were taken out and the EU ambassador had moved outside the capital to elsewhere in Sudan. Similarly, 100 French nationals and other nationalities have already been evacuated from Sudan by France, and another 100 are expected to follow, the French Ministries of Foreign Affairs and Armed Forces said. Borrell stated it has been a complex operation and it has been a successful operation. I want to thank France, especially for taking our people out. And I want to thank the combined efforts for many countries that took their nationals, but also all nationals that they could pick. An EU official on Friday told AFP that there were an estimated 1,500 citizens from the bloc in Khartoum. Across Khartoum, army and paramilitary troops have fought ferocious street battles since April 15th, leaving behind tanks, gutted buildings, and looted shops. More than 420 people have been killed and thousands wounded, according to UN figures, amid fears of wider turmoil and a humanitarian disaster in one of the world's poorest nations. Borrell said on Sunday that he had spoken to rival commanders Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and Mohammed Hamdan Daglo to call for an immediate ceasefire. To end the world news is a sports story. Audion Jude Igalo was on cloud 9 after Al Hilal made it to the final of the Kings Cup final in a 1-0 victory over Al Ittihad. Egypt defender Ahmed El Ghazi's own goal in the first half of extra time gave Al Hilal the win. Igalo started the game and was replaced by Luciano Vetto in the second half of extra time. The 33-year-old took to social media to celebrate the win. Through to the Kings finals, Vamos, Igalo wrote on his Twitter handle. The forward is now in line to win his second major trophy with the Lions after claiming the Saudi League title last season. Al Hilal will face the winner of the other semi-final between Al Nassr and Al Wada in the final of the Kings Cup. That ends the World News this hour from BGI TV Current. Before we go, some major headlines. Blood of innocent women and children haunting you. That is why you apologize. CSO accuses Malemi of misleading Buhari over OPL 245 scandal. We're also brought to you, disregard anyone saying I hate Northerners. Peter Obi carpets Buhari's aid statement. NPC denies report its server was hacked before census postponement. And on the foreign scene, over 1,000 citizens with 21 diplomats evacuated from Sudan, EU. And on sport, Jude Odion Igalo celebrates as Al Hilal zoom into Saudi Cup final. For more updates on YouTube, our handle is BGI TV Current. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawi Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. For advert placement of your goods and services, coverage of events and functions, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Rabila Lawal. Good evening.